Hey everyone, welcome to my kitchen. My name's Amanda and today it's Friday, so it's family movie night in my house. And today I'm going to be making apple fig muffins. I will show you how I make apple fig jam in like the end of July, beginning of August when it's fig season here at my house because I have 4 fig trees. And for dinner we're going to have beef and broccoli stir fry. I'm going to make that in the crock pot. And then for dessert I'm going to make popcorn in my Ninja Foodie Possible Cooker Pro, and I'm going to make it s'more style. I know I did one earlier, but this one's a little bit fun and a little bit more messier, so it's really tasty. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started on the apple fig muffins. They are really good. I'm not making them gluten-free. I'm going to make them wheat, so that way I can use up some of the wheat flour that I have. But let's go ahead and get started.
You need 1/3 cup of melted butter. Pour it into a large bowl. You need 1 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Now go ahead and mix those together. Mix until well combined. You need 1 egg, and then I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands, and then I'm going to go ahead and mix this all together. You need 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. You need 1 cup of plain Greek yogurt. If you have vanilla Greek yogurt, you can use that too. You need 2/3 cups of apple fig jam. When I make my homemade apple fig jam, I actually use 110 figs because I have 4 fig trees. So I make like a large batch of it. And then I also use 4 red apples in it. I use cinnamon, brown sugar, lemon juice, water, and vanilla extract. And it is just so full of flavor. My kids love eating it just as is out of the jar. Sometimes they love mixing it in vanilla yogurt. It is just such a treat. You can even put it over ice cream. It is that good. I'm going to go ahead and scrape down the sides of the yogurt and a little bit of the apple fig jam. And then I'm going to go ahead and blend all this together. And you want to make sure that everything is mixed very well. Now we're going to go ahead and add the dry ingredients on top of the wet ingredients. And you need 2 1/3 cups of all-purpose flour. And again, I am not making this gluten-free, but if you want to make these muffins gluten-free, just substitute the wheat flour with gluten-free flour and it still is so tasty. I always ask my kids after they have these muffins if they really like it because I can't eat them. So I always make sure that they still taste good for being wheat by asking what their opinions are on it. You need 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And then we're going to go ahead and mix this all together until it's all mixed very, very well. I am using 1 pink lady apple and we're going to cut them up into bite sizes, like really small, and that way we can go ahead and put it into the muffin batter. And you can peel your apple if you want to. I'm just trying to be fast about this because the kids want to get outside and get in the pool. My husband put up the kid pool today, so they're so eager to get out there. So I'm just trying to rush get this done. So instead of me peeling it, I am just cutting the skin off as I go. But here's how small I am making it, and we're going to go ahead and add that into the batter. You can use any type of apple you want to. I'm using Pink Lady because this is the apple that we really like to eat in the house, so that's what I had on hand. My kids really love these muffins. Sometimes I add 2 apples to this. I'm just adding 1 today. Definitely trying to crunch on time to get things done in the kitchen because it is really nice outside and I don't want to be inside all day on this gorgeous day, but I wanted something that, you know, the kids could have for breakfast as well on Saturday. So this is just perfect making this today. Now that the apple is completely cut up, we're just going to go ahead and blend this all together. That way the apple is evenly spread throughout the batter. Muffin batter looks perfect, so now we're going to go ahead and start putting them in the muffin cups. I am using silicone muffin cups. Again, I really like using these. They work perfect and they're great for when you freeze because you don't have that paper liner on the outside of your muffin in the freezer. I'm going to go ahead and spray each muffin cup with pan spray so that way they pop right out easily and I can reuse them if I need to. Normally I fill them up completely so that way they're pretty moundful big muffins, but this time I want to get 24 muffins, so I'm only going to fill them up about 3/4 of the way. That way I can kind of stretch them out into snack size for the kids and also just freeze a few. I know they'll go fast because the kids really do like these ones. Now for the next 12 muffin cups, I actually only had enough batter to fill them halfway, which is fine. So just watch your time on your muffins when they are in the oven baking. So, if you need to take them out sooner than the time, then take them out sooner. Definitely keep an eye on them. Once we get all the batter into the muffin cups, we are then going to make an oatmeal topping to go on top of the muffins. It's really tasty. You need 2.5 tablespoons of melted butter, 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 3 tablespoons of oatmeal, and 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Then you're going to want to go ahead and mix this all together until it's all well combined. If you're done mixing it, then go ahead and divide it equally on top of each muffin. Now, if you want more brown sugar oatmeal on top, double this. It is really good if you like it. I've doubled it many times, but this time I wanted it not so much on it so it wouldn't be so messy for the kids, because sometimes they like to stand in the kitchen and eat these and it can get kind of messy. So this time I did not double this portion, but if you want more, you can definitely double it. It is really good. Oatmeal brown sugar also makes the topping look really pretty when they're done baking. So definitely when you double it, it does look really nice. Now that they are done, the oven is preheated to 375 degrees. Being that I have 24 muffins and they are on the smaller side, I'm going to bake them for 20 minutes. If you did 12 muffins and made them very large, then I would say to do it for 25 to 30 minutes. I will put notes in the description box along with the time as well. I have not used this crock pot in a very long time, ever since I got the Ninja Foodi Possible Cooker Pro. It has been a game changer in my kitchen, but I want to use the Ninja for dessert, so we're using this crock pot for dinner. So for dinner, we are having the crock pot beef and broccoli, and we're going to start off by adding 1 cup of beef broth. You need a 1/2 cup of soy sauce, and this dish I'm actually making it gluten-free, so that way I can have dinner with everyone else. You need a 1/4 cup brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of sesame oil, you need 3 garlic cloves. You can mince them or you can slice them. I am just going to slice mine. Now the recipe that I'm using, it suggests using sirloin steak or boneless beef chuck roast, but I'm actually using a flank steak because that's what the meat we got the other day from Costco, and I just want to use something that I know that the kids like, so I am using this one in place for this recipe. You want to cut your meat up into slices. The apple fig muffins are done. It only took 20 minutes for them in the oven. Like I said, watch the time on them depending on how full you make the muffins. But they turned out great. The kids are going to be really happy. They smell delicious. And then I just need to finish cutting up the steak, and then I can go outside with the kids and enjoy the beautiful day out there. I'm going to let them cool too before I remove them from the silicone molds. The kids are already asking to have a muffin. They're too hot right now, so they definitely need to cool down for them. I'm just going to finish up cutting the steak up, and then that way I can get it all in the crock pot, and I'll show you the next step after that. Before we add the meat to the crock pot, I want to definitely give this a good whisk. That way all the flavors are all mixed together. Once you get that all done, add the garlic in, and then you're going to want to add the meat in. Once the meat is in, then you're going to want to give it a toss too, so that way it is coated with the liquid. Now that that is all done, We're going to go ahead and put the lid on top, and we're going to put it on low, and then we're going to set a timer for 5 hours. This is crazy. This one does not have a timer on it, so I'm just going to keep an eye on the clock. It was nice. We all got to get outside and enjoy the nice weather and the pool in the backyard. The muffins are completely cooled down, so now I am going to remove them all from the silicone molds, and the kids are definitely ready to have some. So that's a huge plus, having that done before we all went outside. I knew they'd be hungry when we got inside. I do like when I make them different sizes, because sometimes someone will only want a small muffin instead of eating half of a larger muffin, and then it's still just sitting there. So this is perfect, because sometimes my kids will want only just a small one, and then that way then it's eaten up right away instead of just sitting there half eaten. But I'm actually going to freeze 6 small muffins, because I know my kids will go through this fast, being that it's summer and school is out. So this is nice that I will have 6 of these frozen, and I'll have them for a morning where I need something for them for breakfast besides cereal or making eggs or pancakes. This is ready to grab. Just pull out of the freezer and zap in the microwave for a good 30 seconds until it's nice and warm. They're good in the freezer for up to 3 months. Now that the meat has cooked in the crock pot for 5 hours, we're going to go ahead and take 4 tablespoons of cornstarch and 4 tablespoons of water, and we're going to whisk them together, and then we're going to pour it into the crock pot and stir to mix well. That way this will thicken the liquid that's in the crock pot. And then once that's done, we are going to go ahead and add frozen broccoli, and we're going to put it over the beef and the sauce, and then you're going to want to gently stir it to combine. And then you're going to put the lid back on and let it cook for 30 minutes, so that way the broccoli cooks and is warm and the sauce thickens. Now, if you don't want to wait the whole 30 minutes of waiting for your broccoli to cook in your crock pot, you could just do the steps that I am doing with the cornstarch and the water, adding it to the liquid in the crock pot, and then just taking your broccoli and microwaving it as the directions say on the bag. And then that way, then your kids, they don't have to wait an additional 30 minutes, because I know how it is where it's like, oh, it's 5 o'clock, everyone's hungry, everyone wants to eat. So you have to kind of find ways of making sure things are ready by a certain time for when you're feeding for a family. So you could do either or, by putting the broccoli in the crock pot or just simply microwaving it in the microwave. Either or is best. I personally wish I would have done it in the microwave, because then the meat completely really mixed in and shredded with the broccoli. This is my first time making this recipe, but let me tell you, it was a hit with my family. They absolutely loved it. The meat was so tender and soft. They do really love flank steak. They love when their dad grills it up for us. I really love when my husband grills it. It's really good that way. But trying it this way as a meal with this type of flavor was phenomenal. I definitely will be making this again, and the kids have asked for me to make this again and to keep it as a meal that we make frequently in our house. So I definitely recommend it. I made jasmine rice to go with this dish for tonight. I'm going to go ahead and start plating it up for dinner. I'm using the small plates for the kids and the bigger plates for the adults. It definitely was so good. It was very mouth-watering, full of flavor. I definitely recommend making this, and I'm really glad that I did not miss out on getting the sesame oil, because sometimes I'll always look up like, oh, what can I substitute the sesame oil with? What can I substitute that with? But it definitely was really good. And this dish is gluten-free, which is really nice that I can enjoy it with the family. We were out shopping at Costco, and they saw a beef and broccoli stir-fry dish that everyone was really eyeing and was like, oh, that looks really good, we should get it. But I didn't want to get it because I didn't like the price of it, and I didn't like how much you actually would get in the box. So I decided I would try to find a recipe that I could make that we could all have together, and something I could eat with them all too. And it was a hit. So I definitely recommend this recipe, and I will have it linked down in the description box down below. So definitely try making it. It is really good. Here's how I plated it up and how it looks. It was so tasty. Dinner's done and now it's dessert time. Let me tell you, my daughter and I, we absolutely love popcorn. So I have really been trying to make some new type of popcorn. We did a s'mores popcorn maybe a month ago. I posted a video on it and it was really good. Then I started exploring with it more and tried making it to where it was really coated on every piece of popcorn that you had. So we're going to go by taking 2/3 cup of chocolate chips, 2/3 cups of peanut butter chips, and we're going to do 2 cups of small marshmallows. Add it all to the bowl, and then you're just going to set it aside for the time being. I am using my Ninja Foodi Possible Cooker Pro. I really love this. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to turn it on. You're going to want to put it on sear saute, leave it on high, hit start. It will take a while for it to turn on. In the meantime, you're going to want to take 3 tablespoons of olive oil and add it to the crock pot. Adding the 3 tablespoons of olive oil now helps heat it up slowly, so when you do add in your popcorn kernel, it's ready to go. You will add your popcorn kernels in when the digital screen says add food. So that takes a while for it to heat up, but once it does say add food, you're going to add 1/2 cup of popcorn kernels. Now that the digital screen says add food, we're going to go ahead and add 1/2 cup of popcorn kernels, and we're going to take a silicone spatula and we're going to stir it into the olive oil. That way each kernel gets coated with it and it will help it pop. So now once we have it all mixed together, we're going to go ahead and put the lid on. Now that the lid is on, we are going to wait 3 minutes and it'll pop within the 3 minutes. Once the timer on the digital screen says 3 minutes, you are going to want to hit stop and turn it completely off. The kids really love to watch the popcorn pop because of the glass lid. You can see it popping. It's just really neat. It is awesome to watch, and it's also fun too when you do turn it off and you take the lid off. Some of the popcorn does go flying out and the kids laugh hysterically about it. So it is a great conversation piece, but I do love using the Ninja Foodi Possible Cooker Pro for making popcorn in it. It is ideal. It's fun. 3 minutes are up now. I'm going to go ahead and hit stop, and then I'm going to turn it off, and then I'm just going to keep an eye on it. It is still slowly popping, which is perfectly fine. That's what you want because there is still extra kernels in there going. You don't want to remove the lid yet because if you do, you will have a lot of popcorn starting flying everywhere, which is what I was talking about earlier. The kids really laugh about it. They think it's the neatest thing. But for this type of s'mores popcorn, you want to try to eliminate as many kernels as you can, but you don't want to burn the popcorn. So definitely keep an eye on it. Watch how many kernels are popping. Right now there's still quite a bit popping, so we're going to keep an eye on it. Once you see it to start to slow down with the popping, you're going to want to open the lid up and just give it a stir to see if there's more kernels in there and try to just help kind of activate them and heat them up into the crock pot. So I'm just giving it a stir. There are still more kernels and it's still popping. It took about a good 1.5 to 2 minutes to let it finally finish popping of all the kernels, but I want to be on the safe side, so I am going to scoop out the popcorn in a larger bowl, and I'm going to make sure that there aren't a lot of kernels left over, because when you coat this popcorn with all the goodness, you don't want to take a bite of a kernel seed in it. So I'm removing the popcorn. I'm taking out the crock pot insert so that way I can angle it and try to scoop out the popcorn better. And once I have all the popcorn removed, I'm then going to take the kernels that are left over in it and just dump it into something else. I'm just going to toss those. We don't need those. And then that way I have a nice clean inside of the crock pot liner. That way I can put the popcorn back in it with all the goodness in it. So I will show you the next step. Now that there's no more popcorn kernels in it, we're going to go ahead and add the popcorn back to it, and we're going to add the mixture in with the chocolate chips, the peanut butter chips, and the marshmallows. And we're going to give it a stir, and then we're going to put the lid back on, and then we're going to put it back in the Ninja Foodie Possible Cooker holder. That way it'll help heat up the marshmallows and everything else. And in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and add graham crackers to our bowls. The last time I made it, I added the graham crackers into the crock pot, so that way you got a bite with the graham crackers in it. But I'm really limited on my gluten-free graham crackers right now, so I'm only putting gluten-free in mine. And in the other 3 bowls, I'm going to use regular wheat graham crackers for everyone else. Now it's been sitting for about a good 2 minutes, and now I'm going to go ahead and give it a stir now that it's had time to melt the chocolate chips and the peanut butter chips and the marshmallows. I'm just giving it a stir, mixing it all together. You thoroughly want to mix it well. That way each piece of popcorn is coated nicely. Trust me, it is well worth it. Look at how yummy that looks. Now you're just going to scoop the popcorn into the bowls and put how much you want in each bowl, and then definitely enjoy. It is messy, but it's well worth it. So definitely have your napkins on hand and ready. But it's so tasty. And then scoop it around so that way you get a bite of graham cracker with the s'mores popcorn. I love the peanut butter touch to it because it just makes it really good. We all love a lot of peanut butter in this house, so enjoy. Please try making this. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.